Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Jumping Podcast. This time it is a fatal four-way. Myself and F-Word and Kim, live and direct from Tokyo, Japan. And we are across 3 continents today because we are joined by Chris T, the preeminent Ken in the United States. Welcome, sir.
Thank you for having me, guys.
So we're just catching up just before the season starts, I guess, right? We've got like a cool little concept thing happening, which should be coming out real soon. And Chris is involved in that. It's like the first one of our concept videos that Kim's come up with. So I hope you really enjoy that idea. Look out for that, subscribe and all that crap, and you'll see it first. But yeah, we thought whilst we have Chris's attention, we'll catch up with him as he's gearing up for CPT 2017, the new season. And of course, regularly attending Wednesday night fights and traveling around and getting to grips with season 2. So welcome, sir. How's it going?
Everything's good. Another day. Blessed to be alive.
You got yourself a new sponsor this season, right?
Yes. I'm a player now for Denial Esports.
Tell us a little bit about those. How did you hook up?
They contacted me right before Capcom Cup. And
Okay.
I had like a couple of offers, actually a lot of offers before Capcom Cup. And I don't know, something just like didn't really feel right with the other organizations, and they weren't willing to, work with me on some things that I needed, whatever. And but Denial was like, very, very straightforward. I kind of felt good when I was talking to them, and everything told me to just kind of be with them. And so I signed up with them.
Congratulations, man.
Thank you.
What are they generally known for?
Yeah, that's what I was going to ask. Yeah.
Say that again.
What do they dibble in any other fields in esports already?
Yeah, actually, they have like one of the strongest Counter-Strike teams.
Oh,
and like our guys right now are like tearing it up in the US for Counter-Strike. So, I'm super proud of them. And then they have like other games as well. Like I think they had like Heroes of the Storm before. But I mainly just talk to the Counter-Strike guys because they're cool and
Sweet.
So let's talk some Street Fighter 5 here.
Yeah.
You are in ELeague amongst several other international players. You want to talk about your group, who you're looking forward to playing and stuff like that?
He got a D.
yeah, actually. Let me take a look at my group right now.
You got the
You're
D
in
for
the
it,
European bracket.
exactly.
Yeah, I'm in the European bracket. Let me see. I don't know where I am.
If you check out the chat, I took a picture and I just sent it there right now.
Oh, you just sent it right now?
Yeah, check.
NuckleDu, Xiao Hai, Phenom, Luffy,
Yeah.
Chris Tatarian, Ryan Hart, Li Joe, LPN.
Yes. Okay.
So I guess we can start from the top going downwards. But I guess just generically, you look at this group. What was your initial thoughts when you saw that? When you saw, okay, this is my pool. This is what I'm up against to begin at ELeague.
Well, to see like NuckleDu and Xiao Hai right off the bat was kind of like, all right, I'm playing against 2 of the best players in the world right now. NuckleDu, he's arguably the best player. He's had the most success. Just won Capcom Cup, and he plays Guile as well, or at least he chooses Guile against me. Now I played NuckleDu at Red Bull Battlegrounds, and that was like a pixel. Went down to the last round, but that's not a good matchup for Ken at all, Guile. So I have to definitely lab up some stuff against him. Xiao Hai plays Cammy. I have a lot of training against Cammy from Alex Myers. So I'm hoping that, I get to train with him a little bit more before ELeague so he can show me the ins and outs of the matchup a little bit more so I feel more comfortable. I played Xiao Hai back at CEO, and he bodied me really, really hardly. So, and that is a matchup that, Logan can agree with. Cammy is not comfortable for Ken at all. And we see Momochi struggling to beat Xiao Hai every time that they play. Momochi hasn't beaten him. Phenom, an amazing Necalli player. I know he's still playing Necalli. He also plays Bison now a bit. I haven't played Phenom at all, so I'm looking forward to seeing how I do against Phenom.
Ever? You've never played him?
I've never played Phenom ever.
Okay.
Yeah, Luffy is no joke at all. He's one of the greatest players, playing Mika as well. That's just gonna be there's no Street Fighter into playing that matchup. I just gotta
I agree. Yeah.
Just be
Ryan I don't know who Ryan Hart is actually playing in season 2. I just messaged them.
I don't think Ryan Hart knows who he's playing in season 2.
Yeah.
I know
he's not playing Ken anymore. That's for sure.
I know he's got a Urien, he's got a Guile, but you know what Ryan's like, and he's effectively in isolation as well, which works against him, but it can also work in his favor because you never know what he's going to bring to the table, right?
Yeah, definitely. So can never slouch on Ryan Hart, one of the all-time greatest fighting game players. L.I. Joe, the homie from the East Coast. I played L.I. Joe I think I played L.I. Joe once when we went to Japan together. Actually, played a set. But I'm curious to see how. I know he switched from Nash to Urien, and
his true love.
Yeah,
that is his true love. So I have to lab up Urien. I don't have.
I would suggest that's a good idea in general, right?
Yeah, you don't have much Urien experience. Sounds like you don't have much Urien experience at all.
Not really. I mean, we have I have a local friend. His name's Jared. He plays Urien, but he works a lot and goes to school as well. So he doesn't really play the game that much at all.
Yeah, I guess you don't have any at Wednesday night fights.
Yeah, I don't remember
you
seeing any.
You got Filthy Rich. What are you talking about?
Filthy Rich hasn't come to Wednesday night fights in 3 weeks now, and I haven't played Filthy Rich at all. So I don't know. Maybe the only thing that I can do is that I am going to Northern California to stay with F-Champ a couple days before ELeague, and I could probably hit up Mr. Naps. He's a really good player. Also hit up.
That's a great idea. Yeah.
I could also hit up Kelvin from NorCal as well. He plays Urien as well, so get some practice with that. And then LPN, he's a friend from NorCal. LPN can play any character, so there's not somebody specific that I'm looking out for. He can play Alex, Bison.
Yeah, I don't know who he's playing this season.
Well, we saw him at Sencal. He saw him at Sencal this weekend. Yeah. He was using Bison mainly, but Urien as well. So.
Yeah. So I mean, it's up there, but one thing's for sure is that I definitely have to start labbing up. It's just a problem because my problem with Capcom Cup was that it fell right before finals week for me. So after Capcom Cup, I had my finals week for school, which is no joke. But now
I think everyone knows that you really take the school and stuff seriously. So
but this time ELeague is right after my finals week, so there is no training for ELeague while I'm studying for finals because the 3 days after my finals is ELeague. So that's why I'm buying a flight to NorCal on that Friday right after my last final. Hopefully get some training in with F-Champ, Ricky, just to grind as much as I can in 2 days before ELeague, so I'm prepared for ELeague. But I feel pretty confident right now. Momochi not doing too well at Topanga kind of struck me by surprise, but I'm not going to say it was expected, but I know that I'm struggling in those matchups that he's playing against, that he played Haitani. He lost 7-2, he lost 7-4 against Nemo, and then he lost 7-4 against Mago. Those are matchups that lately in Season 2 I've not been comfortable with, so I need to figure out something soon.
There was
definitely got to work on that Urien one, because there's potentially 3 Uriens in your group D alone, potentially, just looking at that.
Yeah,
I kind of actually this past weekend I went to that studio that they're actually having the Topanga offline finals at. It's a really nice it's a really nice studio and all. But I saw Nemo versus Momochi live, and it was just I think I don't know how the matchup is really because I don't play both of the characters, but Nemo is just doing whatever he wants. I think right now, even in Japan, it's just they're just not familiar. I mean, with Nemo, Urien and Nemo's Urien, I understand they're a completely different thing. Most basic Uriens, you can don't jump into his anti-air. They're gonna do an overhit at this moment, but Nemo just creates this chaos, right? And
I think it's kind of crazy that we're not going to see Nemo or Itazan at ELeague. To be honest with you. That's really shocked me.
That is kind of crazy, actually.
We'll see.
Yeah, when you put that in perspective. Yeah.
Just that you mentioned the Topanga Studios, and I was just reminding myself of the basically the 2 most hyped players of the weekend, and it was easily Itazan and Nemo, and we won't see either of them at ELeague. So
I think of the whole series that it's Topanga for me. Those guys putting that blinding round after round the whole time. I mean, the selection process is obviously something we could talk about all day. I mean, I'd rather not get into the politics of it. There's a couple others that I'm surprised aren't there as well. If we're just going based on last year's performance, let's forget this year. Forget these guys are the guys right now. Last year's performance, there's still a couple guys that I'm like, oh wow. But it is what it is, man, and great opportunity for the guys who have been selected to go ahead.
Do you think that,
it's a huge opportunity.
Chris, do you think that your group is like one of the more difficult ones? Because when I look at the other ones, I mean, I think NuckleDu just by himself is kind of, well, I don't know, Punk's kind of making a movement nowadays, huh? But yeah, your group isn't it. At first glance,
well, he did manage to avoid all of the Japanese players in that group as well. So there's no Japanese players. That's obviously if you gave someone an option of 4 groups and you said, right, you can have the one with no Japanese players, obviously that's going to be a favourable choice in general.
Yeah,
not that you couldn't still be in a group with NuckleDu and Infiltration and whoever and Shanghai and what have you.
Yeah,
but, so that's noticeable as well.
I don't want to say like, I'm happy to not be in a group full of Japanese players. Like, I think that with this game, anybody can win. Like it's not like in Street Fighter 4 where I felt like if I played some Japanese player, they were going to have some tech that I've never seen before, even though the game is 8 years old. It's bare bones. With that being said, I do have Shanghai and NuckleDu. That alone is like, a big threat. It's always a threat. Luffy, an Evo champion. So. I mean, I don't know. Like, I think right now Group C is probably the most dangerous group.
Yeah.
Group C, I would say right now is the worst one. Like Tokido, Fudo, MOV, F Champ, Cien. Like that is.
Yeah, that group's crazy.
And even F Champ's got a great record against Japanese players. K Brad really came into it at the end of season 1 and was looking impressive, and of course defeated Daigo in Capcom Cup. And Wolfkrone is always like, love him or hate him, he's always a threat. Like Wolfkrone is always a threat. So
and the Japanese are sleeping on Laura as well. I wouldn't be surprised to see him. They are definitely sleeping on her. But let's spice it up a little bit. I'm looking at this group and I'm just thinking what everyone else is thinking, right? Yes, your group is pretty tough, and I think C is actually harder. But in every other group, there's arguably some 3 points there. Arguably. I'm no expert, right? Now, if you're comfortable saying in your group, what would be
who are you going to body in your group, Chris?
Who's your guaranteed points in your group?
What are you thinking you're going to win?
Say how it
what is your
Chris.
game plan? What are your corner setups? Let us all know.
When you were going through this, you're like, okay, I don't need to train for him. I don't need to train for him.
Let me be 100% honest. Like, even now at Wednesday night fights, I literally sit down and I tell myself, like, nobody is going to be free. Like, I've almost lost to so many players that I have never heard of before, to the point where I'm like, I cannot even have fun with this game in tournament because I have to play 100% serious. I have to never take anybody for granted, never even come into a matchup thinking that, like, you know what, because I feel like this guy hasn't done good or whatever. Like, I literally have almost lost to, like, I'm telling you, to so many people that I have never even heard of. And that's what blows my mind, But so I feel like I could tell you, like, players that I'm a little more comfortable facing than others. Maybe that might be a little better because I'm not comfortable facing against NuckleDu, Shanghai, and I would probably. Well, I haven't played Phenom before, but maybe Luffy because he's Mika. But I am a little more comfortable playing against Ryan Hart because I've played him, quite a bit before. I'm a little more comfortable playing against Joe, and LPN. We've had plenty of sets before. And I guess Phenom is like up in the air. Like, I've never played him, so this is going to be interesting. But I feel more comfortable not because I feel like they're going to be free wins, but just because, like, I've played them before, and I might be able to find some sort of, like, strategy towards that. Whereas NuckleDu, I have played before, but everybody knows that I really, really struggle against Guile. And Cammy is a huge problem of mine in Season 2 as well. And seeing Momochi lose to Shanghai a lot kind of always bothers me as well because I look up to Momochi's playstyle a lot.
There's against Phenom, there's a certain, like, excitement whenever you do play each other. So I think it's kind of even in that regards. I had been hearing NuckleDu doesn't really play casuals that much, so it's kind of a hard read to get on him. But the one thing is that if you did have Japanese players in your group, Japanese players play casuals all the time. They'll go up to you. They'll seek that knowledge, you know. So it's kind of like a battle between players rather than matchups at that point.
Yes.
But no Japanese people in your group, so you're gonna have to sandbag everything. Yeah.
I mean, the goal is to win the entire thing. So I'm gonna eventually have to play a Japanese player.
It's not character locked or anything like that, right? That you can just use.
No.
Okay.
I don't think so. No.
Remind me of the format, guys. It's top 6 qualifier. Is there like a certain fraction of that qualifies in winners or losers, or is it just straight up?
No, straight up.
Sweet.
Are you comfortable?
So you mentioned.
Go ahead.
Sorry, yeah, you mentioned Momochi and how you looked up to him as a player and take a lot of inspiration from his playstyle. How would you compare your style of Ken to Momochi's? I mean, how much do you take from his play, and how would you differ, and how are you similar? I guess would probably be the best way of asking that.
Okay, let me start off by saying, like, at Capcom Cup, I played Momochi in a first to 10.
I saw that.
It was like 10-10. But like the score came out to be like 10-10. Yeah.
In a first to 10. That's impressive.
Who got to 10 first?
Well,
I'll press the job now.
It was a double KO at the end.
It was a double KO.
The 20th game.
But I think I forgot who like took the like defining 10th win. I mean, you were watching. I don't know if it was me or I don't know if it was him, but I remember that like we played one more just because it was 10-9, and we were just like, you know. But like when I watched Momochi, when I played against Momochi, I knew exactly like how he was approaching Ken, because I felt like this is exactly how I'm approaching the matchup as well. So there was that comfortability where I was like, I feel like I'm playing against myself, and I feel comfortable doing that. When I watch him play other players, I feel like my style has gotten a lot closer to his now, because I have watched his Ken for years now and tried to, because he is the best Ken. He knows how to play Ken the best. So I've wanted to become the best as well. There's obviously some like, you know, the guy wins a lot more than I do, and he is an amazing player. I would say that like his patience is a lot better than mine, and I think that his years of experience, he's like 10 years older than me. Those extra years kind of add to the knowledge of Street Fighter, add to the knowledge of Ken, add to the knowledge of just how to make better decisions. And, you know, like just experience in general with Street Fighter takes you a long way, you know?
Yeah.
However, I do think that like my style is very similar to Momochi's now. Obviously not exactly like his. There are some, you know, there are differences, but I'm trying to play more solid and more fundamental the way that he plays.
Because there was a noticeable like West Coast style of Ken.
Yeah.
If you don't mind us saying that, it was very noticeable that you guys were abusing the shit out of run because your opponents didn't know how to deal with it. So why not carry on? And now
more the other two than Chris, from what I saw. No, would you not say?
Yeah, obviously, I would hold my hands up and say out of the three, you definitely have a lot more patient style, but that's like more the traditional West Coast style of Ken when we started out in season 1.
Yeah.
And now I've seen you definitely embrace that way of playing in which it's really less buttonsy. Because I always approach Ken obviously from as a Dudley player in SF4. You know, his tools are superficially similar. He gets big burst damage. He's got a big windy haymaker in neutral that he can convert into big damage with the hard kick. He's got like that run pressure is similar to kind of like duck pressure and that sort of stuff. So from those, I took those elements. But one of the things I took from Smug when I watched him play Dudley is how few buttons he would press in neutral. And I take that from Momochi as well. You'll see Momochi walk back and forwards, and he very rarely whiffs buttons. And I noticed that about you as well. towards the end of season 1 and going into season 2, you're a lot less active, and you're a lot more patient in waiting for those openings and moments rather than trying to force those openings and moments. Would you say that was accurate, or?
Well, I think it's it's definitely accurate, but I wanted to address something that like a lot of people seem to miss. The whole thing with the West Coast like Ken style is that Brent and Julio had never played Ken ever in any Street Fighter, nor had they played the Shoto. So this was their first year coming into playing a Shoto and Ken on top of that and like as a Ken player, I know the fundamentals of Ken, and I know like the amount of patience that you eventually need to, learn with Ken, because he's a Shoto. But these guys came from playing Rufus and Yun, so like their mindset on offense was just like dead set on. Like they knew how to open people up, they knew how to put fear into people. Whereas like
maybe you are actually a Rufus player then. Maybe it's that.
I started actually playing Rufus a little bit at the end of Street Fighter. But that's something that I lacked with Ken in Street Fighter 5, and I was looking up to them to kind of like teach me how to open people up better on offense. And the way that they were using Run was really, really good. But then like people started catching on to Run, and Run is not usable anymore. Once in a while, but like that against my set against Pinoy, he hit me out of every single run with stand medium kick, jab, ball.
If you don't mind me checking in real quick, I told you this behind the scenes. Like I think your style is like really respectful. Like you're not like a sloppy Ken. You're not trying. You're not trying to like overwhelm them. You're like trying to analyze the situation at every single second. I think that style is overall it's like the most consistent style. But like if you don't create this element of chaos, this like sloppiness, then in a way, like certain players, your opponents, they are comfortable. You have to make your opponent.
Let me stop you. I 100% agree with you, and that's something that I've like recently been thinking about, because it's like I know that I have to play a certain way, just because like the game, like Ken has to play this way in season 2, and but I mean I like that he has to play slower because it teaches me more patience. It teaches me how to analyze situations better. But then again, that comes with the faults of like I'm giving my opponent a lot of breathing space and a lot of time to kind of analyze the situation better and to make better decisions. Because if he can understand the neutral on what's going on, 9 times out of 10, he's playing a character that beats Ken in season 2. That almost everybody's playing a top tier character now. Karen, Urien, you know what I'm saying? These are characters that give Ken a lot of trouble in neutral. Anytime that I'm giving people breathing room in neutral, it's at a disadvantage for me, no matter how much I'm analyzing it, because they can do the same thing, but because they have the advantage, it could work for their favor. So I'm trying to find ways to where I can apply my analyzation while still kind of holding forward a little bit more to putting pressure on my opponent to not get him to like think so freely about the neutral to where he's still in a defensive mode, Do
you think like a secondary would be like a solution to this? Because if you like in casuals, for example, like you're playing someone in a tournament, you have them first round, and you have a chance to play them in casuals, you're going to use like maybe a secondary to get that read on them, something like that. I mean, but you could also do this in tournaments. Like, do you have any plans for Momochi's trying to use Bison, even though it never came out, like it never came out. It was never going to come out, by the way. But like, are you looking at any characters?
I'm definitely looking at other characters right now, and this is reinforced with watching how Momochi performed at Topanga. I'm not going to say every decision that I make is based off of Momochi, but when I try to talk to Momochi as much as I can whenever I go into his stream, and thankfully I have Choco that translates. But I look at it this way, like if the best Ken player right now is facing problems in the same area that I'm facing, like what am I going to come up with that he hasn't already kind of thought of? And let's say I do come up with something that he hasn't thought of.
Probably possible, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Yes, but the problem is that like it doesn't defeat the way the matchup is going to be played. You get what I'm saying? Like the only thing that I could possibly come up with, let's say like something that I kind of understood when I was playing against Chun-Li was that like, okay, I feel like the more I play this character, I need to throw more fireballs, right? But that also had, like, that character can have her ways around my fireball tech that I come up with or something, right? It's the problem is the neutral that I'm facing with Ken, and I can see Momochi dealing with the same exact problems that I'm dealing with, and he hasn't found an answer to that. And not to, you know, like, this is with all respect, but the guy plays a lot more than I do as well. Like, he definitely plays the game a lot more than I do. I think Logan just said, like, he plays around 14 to 16 hours a day. I don't have that. I cannot play that long because I have school all day. I come home at like 5, 6 o'clock. And by then, like, sometimes I'm too tired to even, you know, do any Street Fighter when I have schoolwork to do as well. So
and that's 12 to 16 entirely focused quality hours that he's put in with world class opposition as well. So
phenomenal.
I look onto Momochi like, dude, like, I need to steal some of his tech. Like, my hopes are on Momochi finding something, so that way I can be like, I don't have to do.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair enough. Yeah.
What else can I do?
Dude, I watched Momochi play Itazan, right?
Yeah.
And he whiff punish the hard punch.
Yeah.
Geef's hard punch. He whiff punish it with crouch fierce into heavy tatsu, and the heavy tatsu only hit 3 times.
That's godlike. I didn't even see.
So he got the link afterwards as well.
Yeah, see, like, that's
yeah. Let me write that down in the notebook. Yeah. Thank you very much.
And Momochi has been, you know, whenever I talk to him, he always helps me out. And, like, that's the best part about it, is that, like, I love the fact that he's always helping me whenever I need his help. My biggest thing, like, was always, like, kind of, like, proving myself to Momochi as I grew up. Like, I started watching him when I was 15 years old. The biggest thing that I always wanted to be like, damn, I hope, like, I really hope Momochi thinks that I'm good, whatever, right? And then
Senpai.
Yeah, no, I mean, he definitely, I've learned pretty much all of Ken from him. So I wanted to play him, actually, Ken, to kind of, like, see how I do against him in Street Fighter V. And, you know, when our set was so close, like Logan was watching, it was a good set, man. That was kind of like, all right, like, I feel like, you know, he looks at me at a little higher light than just like that kid. Okay.
I forgot what term
you might
it was.
You might have more Ken experience than him, though, considering you're from the area where 2 of the best Kens in the States are. And he's only got a crazy Aita who isn't necessarily from the same area. But yeah,
now you go online in Japan, there was about 100 really Kens.
Really?
Yeah, on CFN.
Like Nauman is a newer player in Japan, and that guy's Ken is so sick. He bodied me when I went to Japan. And I was like, if there's one thing that I know more than anything in life is the Ken matchup.
Yeah, right? Yeah.
Like, I know that matchup, especially in Street Fighter V. But when he beat me, I was like, damn, like, I can't even be salty. But then I found out that he was one of Momochi's students. And I was like, okay, this makes a lot more sense. And he's a really, really cool guy. But yeah.
He's the older one, right, out of the students? Because
I believe so, yeah. Now
Aku's like 15, right? And he's like, what, 21 or something?
I don't think Nauman is a student per se, because he has his Shinobism group.
Okay, so there's 3 Momochi students.
Nauman isn't one of them.
One of them plays Ken.
Yeah.
Which one's that?
Yamaguchi or something like that.
Oh.
Yeah,
I know that Nauman had told me that, like, he had learned a lot from Momochi, so I just called him.
I mean, it's a universal thing, yeah, like
unofficial student, like you.
Yeah, pretty much. But yeah, I mean, to get back to what I was saying, like, I feel like as the years go by, like, I'm learning a lot more from my character, not only just from Momochi, but from, you know, just playing the game and gaining that experience. Which I just want to address something that really bothers me with 5, bless you, is that when people start saying, like, oh, my character sucks, when they haven't even played that character ever, or they're just playing this character now, or a DLC character comes out, like, dude, it's taken me 8 years to understand the concept of Ken and fundamentals with the character, when to throw a fireball, when to do this, when to DP, and you're over here complaining about a 2-week old character that just came out. Like, give some time to the character. When I'm complaining about Ken, I know what Ken struggles with.
Hell, man.
I'm saying that, like, I can see a matchup immediately and be like, I feel like this matchup is not going to be in my favor because 9 times out of 10, especially in Street Fighter 5, it's going to be the neutral. So once I see that the neutral is being dominated by that character, I'm like, yeah, I'm for sure going to struggle with this matchup.
Tell these fools.
No,
I can relate. I can relate a lot.
To play devil's advocate now, you do have a little bit of a reputation for complaining.
Oh yeah,
especially immediately after a match.
Immediately after the match, yeah, that's the worst time to talk, right?
But like, it's not like a personal complaint. It's not like you attack the player or anything like that. It's
no,
like rational, you know.
No, of course not. Like when Street Fighter, like. Pretty much most of my complaining was in the first 2 months of Street Fighter V, where every single player was complaining, but everybody wanted to point fingers at me, which, you know what, like, I did the complaining. I'm not going to say that I didn't. But everybody was not understanding matchups at that point. Everybody's expected to be like, damn, this matchup's garbage. The game was just out. And of course, like, I made a lot of mistakes with complaining about certain matchups and certain characters, but I mean, who didn't at that time? You know, everybody was complaining about Street Fighter 5.
I also think as well.
Remember when Ryu wasn't good in season 1 when the game first came out? When
I thought you were talking about last week. Sorry.
No, I'm talking about when every Ryu player was like, no, it's not good, when the game was like out in the first month, and then
because Daigo was losing, obviously, so Ryu wasn't good. Even though Takedo was like getting top 2 at everything in the universe.
So nobody said anything to those Ryu players, you know, and Ryu would turn out to be the best character in the game. So
I also feel like unless you're complaining about shit, you're not identifying problems to work on, you know. If all you do is complain, then it's an issue, right? But if you're like, nah, man, this is bullshit. I think we all do it anyway as like a venting process. What we really mean is this is a problem, and in the future I'm going to dedicate some brain power to figuring out what the hell to do. Fuck this, man, like Urien EX tackle.
Dude, I think us, maybe us, but yeah, the majority of the people aren't necessarily like that, but I completely agree. I know that's my mind.
It's important to identify the difference between...
Definitely.
I'm really frustrated by this shit, what can I do about it? Not, I'm really frustrated by this shit, I can't do anything about it.
Actually, on an interesting note, I'm really frustrated about this shit. I'm going to drop Ken for a little while, and I'm going to mess about with Kolin and start doing some crazy shit online. You seen that, Chris? You seen that? I mean, me being able to relate to you to a degree, I used to follow a guy called Aruka in Street Fighter 3, who was like the god of Ibuki. And, you know, when he stopped playing,
old men,
it was kind of like, let's just...
Your world kind of like...
Your world kind of
what am I supposed to do?
But if he kept playing and he switched to another character... I would have just abandoned him because, you know, Ibuki comes before Aruka. Now, how much is your loyalty to Momochi here? Does Momochi come before Ken? I mean, are you thinking maybe if Momochi switching to Kolin, is that something I should consider maybe? Or is it a case of like, nah, fuck that, Ken for life?
Like any other character, right? Not just like Kolin or anything. Like if he switches to another character.
Well, for a Ken that's that prominent to I mean, he could just be picking up for fun. You know, she's new, she's worth experimenting.
He plays I see him. He dabbles with every character.
Yeah, absolutely. He's capable of playing everyone on the cast. But hypothetically speaking, should that be an approach? If it wasn't Ken, if it was someone else, is that something that you would maybe aspire towards, or
specifically, if you saw him pick a character in a matchup that, again, you said earlier that you can see you have the same problems in, would 100%. You consider
100%? Okay. Why waste time and energy that he's putting 14? Like he put 14 hours, you know, and he's for sure thinking about the game outside of that. He's for sure discussing it with some people. He is the like.
He's got students, man. He's got students,
man. Hey, yo, guys, check this out. Chrissy's gonna use this character. Check this out, guys. Yeah. He's
gonna set you up. He's gonna set you up, Chris.
No, I'm serious.
Lose. We're gonna put this online tonight.
Like he put Bison as a secondary, Dictator as a secondary at Topanga, and I was like, I'm really looking forward to see like where he uses Bison, because maybe that might give me some like, okay, Momochi feels this uncomfortable with this matchup, which I'm 100% sure I'm also going to feel uncomfortable with that matchup. Okay, if he's using Bison to deal with it, maybe I should look into Bison. It's not that he's switching characters in total, not maining Ken anymore, but I feel like he's being smart enough to acknowledge that I'm putting a lot of brain power to use Ken in this matchup, and I'm still not getting the result, even though I'm I'm pretty sure he is labbing up against these characters, but still doesn't work out. If he's going to switch characters, I'm going to also switch characters as well. I'm not going to abandon Ken, but I'm going to for sure look into other matchups to make my life easier. I want to win. Like, Street Fighter is about winning. Like, character loyalty only goes so far in Street Fighter 5, and people don't understand that. You know, it's not just one character game.
Balance, right?
I'm trying to do it with one character, but when I start losing to people that I feel like I should be beating if I had a better character or a better matchup, that's when I'll be like, you know what? I'm going to switch. And lately I've been feeling that way. But once I see Momochi kind of like pull the trigger, that's when I'm going to be like, okay, like he pulled the trigger. I guess it's time for me to like take into consideration of putting lab hours into another character, into a matchup that I'm struggling with Ken. And Brent has been doing that for the past month now. That's why he's been playing Balrog. Balrog is one of his older characters from Street Fighter 4. But that's why he started playing Balrog. He was like, dude, I'm dealing with Dalsum and shit. Like, why do I want to deal with Bison with Ken? Like, I got Balrog and he's broken right now. So let me use Balrog, and you know.
I think there's something like really, really obvious when you watch NuckleDu play. Like when you watch NuckleDu play, and even other players that are winning, like NuckleDu he's like using because he uses like two characters like at the highest level. He's not as stressed as most people that use just one character.
Yeah, and he's also not. He doesn't appear to me like the kind of guy that gets. And this is my problem. He doesn't seem emotionally invested in those characters in any way. He doesn't give a shit.
Yes, that is.
I know he's using Guile again, but honestly, even the way he plays Guile, he does not give a shit. He doesn't care about Guile's story. He's just playing Guile, and that's that.
It could be
a problem.
Any sprite on the screen, anything doesn't matter.
A huge problem of mine is that I even told Combofiend before Street Fighter 5. I was like, don't let Ken be in the game, please. I don't want Ken to be in the game because I know that I'm going to have to play Ken because I'm too attached to the character to not... Like, I have to be the best Ken. That's always been, like... I just have to be the best Ken. If I'm not the best Ken, I think it's wrong. I'm not okay with that.
Let's break some news right now. So if you're able to break away from Ken and break away from Momochi, you could be the best. You could be even better than you are now. To break away from Momochi, that's the thing. It's not Ken, it's Momochi. Because I just realized you also use Jury in Street Fighter 4. I just realized this right now too. So you actually do use his secondaries also.
Yeah, Jury was a sick character. More sick than she is in Street Fighter 5. Way more sick in 4 than she is in 5.
She's a ground game in Street Fighter 4.
Yeah.
Looking forward to seeing that infiltration in competitive environment. Man.
Yeah,
seriously.
Sure. But like F-word, yeah, for sure, bro. Like I know you struggle with the same problem. And
you don't even know the half, bro. I basically hardly played season 1. I should have been playing season 1. I hardly played when the Buki came out, and I wasn't feeling it. Like I hardly played. You know what I mean? I'm not playing the game. I should be playing the game, but like
I think so much emotional attachment. I think the game is going to a direction where I'm gonna have to I'm gonna have to visit a guru. I'm gonna have to like sit down and like have him like go inside the chakras and like really detach myself from
Japan right now.
Hypnotherapy. That's what you need.
He's just code. Ken is not real. He's just code.
Let me ask you as well, right? So obviously, season 2, they've told us that we're getting 5 brand new characters that have no previous experience or history in the Street Fighter series as playable characters. Which I think is kind of interesting because it allows them to possibly give us options of play that are not there. And I think that's one of the problems with Street Fighter 5 in that there's definitely styles of play in the game that are not catered to. Do you see yourself... do you see a character coming along and just like stealing your heart? Do you think one of these 5 characters? Can you picture that, or is it like would you play Ken if he was like Dan tier still?
Okay.
Where do you have to just say enough is enough?
Yeah. This abusive relationship.
Yeah,
exactly. And just
like, bro,
admit.
I think that the next patch that's coming out is going to be before ELeague. The next patch for Street Fighter 5 is for sure going to be like
March 27th, right?
Yeah, ELeague is on March 27th, but we are all praying for the patch to come before March 27th.
Do we even know there is a patch?
Yeah, Capcom
They announced it
that there
in
will
March. That's all they said.
Yeah, they said that it was going to be in March.
Okay.
I hope that it's before ELeague. If this patch Ken gets nerfed, then I will stop playing Ken. And the moment where I feel like I'm putting in way too much mental brain power to kind of play this character at a top level, that's when I'll be like looking at other characters. But what I look for in another character, whether new, whether old, or whatever, is I want control of neutral. If I have control of neutral with that character and I know that I can use it to my strengths, like put my knowledge of Street Fighter into that character, and that character has that control that I'm looking for, then I will pick that character, because you need control in Street Fighter 5. You just need control, and it seems like the game does not have any type of control right now. Everything's whatever, but that's not true. Characters like Cammy and Karen and Urien have a lot of control in neutral, even though people say Urien's buttons are kind of caca, but they're really not. Cammy, I played Cammy for 10 minutes 2 nights ago. 10 minutes. And the amount, like, I started regrowing hair. I'm not bald. I started regrowing
Femi, you need to pick up Cammy right away before it's too late. Start.
I'm good, man. I'm good.
Yeah, but the thing is, like, once I can walk with a character and feel comfortable, that's when I'm going to be like, okay, like, I should probably start playing this character, because I could see myself abusing the things that I'm good at against other people that will help me win.
Why not Cammy? I mean, I also use Cammy too, because just she dominates the normals part. I mean, like,
I think, Cammy does
She's
exactly
really,
what
really
you want to
boring.
do
It's
with
boring.
Ken,
Yeah,
but
she's
better,
boring.
right?
It's very, very boring.
But she is what you're looking for also. I mean, what in the game, yeah.
But what's boring about her? She seems more fun than boring. I wouldn't say. Are you sure boring is the word? Is it that it's too easy to do the stuff she does, rather than she's actually boring? She gets reward with less effort.
You just play one style. You play one style, and like there is no other approach. If you're doing some other,
there's no layers. You know, there's no like layers that like make you kind of feel like a sick Street Fighter player. Mm-hmm. You know, like it's just kind of like linear with Cammy. You might have to go into one extra layer. Like, let me not. You know, I don't even know what the extra layer would be, but like,
let me use hooligan dive kick or whatever.
It's very in the long run, but I'm
Alex Myers,
Necalli right now, because those two characters do really good against Ken's bad matchups. More so Necalli than Cammy against Ken's bad matchups, and I have to just do it. You know, it's just like I just gotta do it. I'm just not doing it, and
out of out of respect, I would kind of recommend for you to take the NuckleDu approach and use whatever the secondary character is. You shouldn't really mention it, in all honesty, but I mean, not on the podcast, but you should use something that just makes wins easier. Obviously, it covers bad matchups, but then...
Huh? Who else am I going to
I think Necalli is actually really honest, too. I think like he doesn't... Yeah, unless he's in V-Trigger. Yeah.
But, which he is from 15 seconds into the round.
He builds V-Trigger faster than anyone else in the game. I mean,
oh yeah, for sure. Like that's the thing. Like Necalli is honest to a certain degree, maybe in the first 10 seconds of the match. But dude, if I throw a fireball and he throws Seismo, he gets 1 bar. If he gets hit by my fireball, like what? Why?
You win out on damage though.
Huh?
You win out on damage though.
But he gets a knockdown.
Now he has enough damage to kill me with the next hit. I get more damage.
Seismo does more damage than Fireball.
Stay positive.
Yeah, he gets more damage and he gets a knockdown.
Yeah, so he has the advantage because he has more damage from the Fireball.
And he's built V-Gauge from it as well.
I have to perfectly time in space a max distance step kick.
I need that calculus meme.
The calculus to gain this much bar. I have to do skill 4 times for me to get 1 bar. 4 times max distance step kicks for me to get 1 bar of trigger per 10.
Hey Chris, how many combos do you ever use step kicking?
What's the point? Like, there's no point.
That's a fundamental flaw with the game. That they need to sort that out.
Momochi doesn't use step kicking combos.
Yeah, he does. Yeah, he does. No. Yeah, he does.
Only
in 1 or 2 situations I've seen
him end the combo like in the corner. There must be a set
touchdown or roundhouse. crush counter, roundhouse, step kick builds good bar. That's why he's doing that, because then you can combo off of you can combo into DP in the corner. So that's why I'm only seeing Momochi do it. But you're using a 14 frame roundhouse.
It's too good though.
Damn. It's too good. You're right.
Which has 77 frames of recovery on.
Yeah. But I mean, I am looking into other characters right now, and like, I was really waiting for Mochi to pull the plug at Topanga to see when against Mago he's gonna use Bison, because I struggle really hard against Karen, but he never did, and like, I mean, he lost, so I gotta like look at that and learn from other people's mistakes as well, you know.
Karen's a very interesting character for me though, because she's got kind of a similar.
She's Street Fighter 410.
Karen? Or
she's
Kolin? What did you say again?
Karen. Karen's got a very similar like drain on the mental resources that Ken has in terms of
what, when you're using her?
Yeah, because confirms can be difficult and take a lot of approach, and her frame kill meaty setups obviously again take a lot of execution, so you have to get those right as well, and it takes a lot of mental. But then she doesn't really have
as well, right?
And anti-airing as well. But I was just going to say, in neutral, she doesn't have to worry as much as a Ken player does about her buttons, because her buttons are a lot stronger in neutral. But then she's balanced out in the fact she's got much less health, lower stun, and again, the anti-air is stress. But Season 2 Ken, anti-airing is stress as well sometimes, because cross-cut DP is a lot harder to do now. You haven't got those 2 first frames of invincibility, so if you're doing it late, you're seeing
I've gotten counter hit.
The travesty that is a dragon punch getting counter hit as an anti-air.
Yeah.
And even then, like
when it whips. When it whips.
Oh, when it whips. Oh, so what was the other thing as well? Oh my God, there's another. Do you ever find that you try and whiff punish? I know it's a silly thing to do. You try and whiff punish in this game with standing light kick, right?
Yeah.
Into
100%.
DP, right? You standing light kick into DP. Why does the DP still come out on whiff sometimes? Just because you like double hit the button? Do you ever get that?
It's the buffer.
You're doing it too late.
That's the buffer window that's big in Street Fighter 4.
You're pressing the DP too late.
Yeah, but like
it literally has to be instantaneous.
If you press it too early, it doesn't come out.
No. But
so like in the heat of me reacting to a whiff button to going, oh shit, 6.5 frames, 4 frame button, cancel DP. Oh, it whiffed. Oh, the DP came out anyway.
Crush counter. Risky.
That's
horrible for you
horrible.
guys. Because I have the same problem. I have the same problem with Ibuki, but I don't get crush countered on my normal DP. So
no, so I'm not. I mean, I'm not saying
that sounds horrendous.
I'm not saying like it's entirely the game's fault, but damn, it's way too easy to still get the DP coming out when you whiff the standing light kick. It's way too easy.
Does the X fireball combo off max distance stand short?
No.
That could be.
EX Fireball doesn't combo off. EX Fireball doesn't combo off max distance crouch and medium kick, which is bullshit.
No, let's take some responsibility, guys. There is a timing. It is just a bit of practice, and I've pretty much got it down now where the DP doesn't come out, and I'm pretty sure my light kick recovers faster than your light kick. So if I can do it, then Ken can definitely do it. It's just muscle memory.
It's frustrating that it does. It's frustrating that it does.
I can see the pain in your eyes, because that would hurt me. That would hurt me a lot.
It's just more. It's just more that I have to think about, and more stress. And I value the fact that I've got a good head of hair at this age, and I want to keep it.
Stop Ken, guys. Stop Ken.
But yeah, I still think Ken's a good viable character.
I tweeted this today.
What's that?
What the hell's
that? Oh yeah, man.
What the what?
As a Ken player.
This is Cammy, Necalli, Laura, Urien. I don't want to deal with that. I just want to do this.
Boom.
Press crouch medium punch and buffer it into V-trigger.
Do you see when Squidward does it? There's no head of hair anymore. He's exhausted all hair. He's bald when he's doing this. He finally took a decision.
He doesn't play Ken anymore.
We're going to talk about Kolin as well.
Yeah.
Get out of the frame. She is the hot topic, guys. Let's not forget to talk about her. Opinions. Kolin.
I don't know anything about Kolin.
I was playing Tyrant's Kolin the other day at Winner Stays On a weekly after the event was done, and he rolled out his Kolin, and he hit me with like a cheeky. I've seen the like do the standing light kick and cross up to the other side in the corner thing, but I didn't know it worked in mid screen as well. So he hit me with that, and got me in the freeze. And he had 2 bars, so I took my hands off the stick. It's like, okay, cool. I'm mentally getting prepared for the next round. He did the punishment combo, and I was still alive.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah,
this character does no damage.
She doesn't do the damage, no. She's season 1 Rashid before people start figuring out the tech. She needs to hit you a lot.
She doesn't do a lot of damage at all. Thank God.
Kim, you seen much of her?
Yeah. You mean like in Japan? You mean?
Yeah, no, just in general. You've seen her online. I mean, you got any first impressions? You've seen enough of her to know what you think of her or what?
I think her design is kind of it's interesting because Capcom's approach is not to have vortexes, but suddenly they make a character that's all about vortexes.
Yeah,
I was just gonna say that.
She's definitely a vortex character.
It's like they completely went back on their like the game design or something. But you know, I in a way, I'm not really complaining because that different look is really important to some players. You know, like I honestly think there's going to be maybe some new players that like Kolin, maybe from other games or something. You know, like
hell yeah. I think she's a very attractive character to play in terms of depth and fun.
It's only been a week or something, and she has like there's so much tech on
man, some of the tech I'm seeing, man. I mean, and people haven't even started playing with that hard knockdown yet off the parry. I mean, I can imagine all sorts of setups people aren't really starting to do yet. So, Chris, you said you haven't really seen much of her at all. You know, well, be careful because some of the guys in your group D might just whip her out. You know, that's one of them characters that first time you see her, you're gonna get hit by a lot of that stuff. So worth being familiar.
I'm kind of confused with her design and like some of the design elements of characters going into season 2 because they very much said at the start like we want to get away from this option select setup based stuff, and that's why you had back roll, right? Mm-hmm. It took Matok and Javits and like probably Hamiko and whoever else a day to find all those setups that cover both back rolls. Probably took them like a couple of hours to find those setups. They were
supposed to find it. It wasn't supposed to be difficult to find.
You've got a character in the game that against an average level player that's not going, okay, I can just block this and then jump take OS out of any pressure that she's going to put me in, right? An average level player is going to be in that kind of same situation that you're going to be in against the Bison when you're an average level player in that I can't press a button after this, I can't do anything here, I'm just stuck in block stun continually. When's it my turn? Oh, it's my turn now. Oh, my button whiffed and I got whiff punished for it. And it's a weird design choice for me to put in a character like that in the game that's so set up based. Is that to appeal to, like, have they gone away from this?
We need to make
the game.
They're playing MKX.
Yeah, it is very much.
That's interesting.
But also as well, like as a Ken player in season 1, we had to hear, you know, button into V trigger into huge damage or free get in from EX dive kick and he's plus or whatever, you know. So we had to hear that. Okay, cool. They took that away, which is fine. They nerfed the damage. They took the EX dive kick away and the jump tattoo away. But then you've got Urien, Balrog that can just use a bar and get in whenever they want. And they've actually got decent neutral as well. So it's like, did you want to get rid of this, or are you just going to shift it over to some other characters that you?
It's almost like they've just said to themselves, "Oh, as long as we nerf the damage on this character, it's okay." I mean, it's going to be interesting to see her in the hands of some of the more deadly guys. So I
want to know what the I want to know what the I'm really interested to get more communication and like insight into the design theory behind the game. Like we said on our last episode about how do you want it to play? How do you want us to be playing? Like, what is your intention for the game? Because like when you bring out Kolin and she's clearly set play based, but you said originally that you wanted to get away from that in this game. What's the direction that you're going in here? I would like to know personally.
Do you guys anticipate there's going to be more characters like that coming?
I think if we get the guy, the guy that's been rumored in Delta Red. with like
with the Mohawk?
he's meant to have like grenades and bombs and stuff.
Oh yeah.
There's no way that guy's not going to be set play based, right? There's no way he's going to be like Cyrax or Sector or whatever, which one it was in MK9. It's just all about putting traps
just
down.
broken, man.
Just putting traps down and.
Why am I playing a Shoto? Why?
He's gonna be able to do what Ibuki can do off a V trigger, but as a special move, like
all the time. Thank you for playing.
Interesting.
So you're obviously a really, really good player. You've been winning a bunch of majors and everything. Like, who helps contribute to you becoming such a good player? Like, there is the Trinity, of course, but there's also I think we were talking behind the scenes. Actually, you played Mike Na at Wednesday Night Fights, right? And one of the difficulties and one of the reasons why you lost that specific match was because he's actually one of your main training partners.
Yeah.
And you're mentioning there's others also, right?
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't say that like I'm out here like winning majors or anything. Like I've won a couple, but I've been doing good. Better than I was in Street Fighter 4, so I'm happy for that. My training partners outside of the Trinity, of course, Brent and Julio would be Mike Elna, Futile, who is a Laura player. I practice with pretty much everybody at Wednesday Night Fights is a training partner that I consider. Like all the threats that we have, like Commander Jesse is my training partner for Dawson, right? I would Stupendous, go-to guy for Zangief knowledge. We have a Bison player, Valiant, who's an amazing Bison player. We have, just Vi as well. I can't deny playing against Vi. Bushin style has contributed to some Rashid. Yeah,
big time. No, I would say yes.
Yeah.
You're at an advantage having that guy there.
Yeah. Everybody at Wednesday Night Fights I give huge shout outs for, because without them I wouldn't be having success in the game. So, I gotta hold it down. There are a couple of HD guys, Jared and Elvis, who are always right there with me whenever I'm back in Victorville to play some Street Fighter. So those are always good training partners.
Dude, like in Japan, Wednesday Night Fights is on at like 6 p.m. or something like that. And then I just go on my iPhone and I check like the world clock, whatever, and I'm like, it's 3 a.m. right now, and you guys are playing Street Fighter 5. And in the finals, too. In the finals.
3 a.m. I was up all day.
Wednesday night.
Wednesday night.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting, though, because Wednesday Night Fights, obviously, I catch that like once every 2 weeks. Sometimes I'm a fiend and I just go and catch it up on my break at work, see what the top 8 was, see what the top 4 was. But then, of course, you got NLBC on a Tuesday. And it's interesting in this game because I think in the previous game, there was a significant gap, in my opinion, West Coast and East Coast. I think West Coast had a significant advantage. In this game, people are saying it might be going the other way around. I mean, from what you experience every week there and who you know is out there in the East Coast, that'll be an interesting one to see go down. What's your opinion on the strength of the two scenes there?
I think right now it's like literally neck and neck.
Okay.
I think East Coast has been tearing it up. Like they got Smug, Alucard, Dominion. They got Punk.
Yeah, he counts. Yeah, even though he's never there. He's East Coast.
Punk is no joke, man. That guy literally bodied me when I played him. He came out to LA for ESL, and I played him. I drove out to LA because I knew that I needed to play this guy, and he beat me 5-0, and then I won 5-4, and then he beat me 10-3, and then 10-1. So this guy is no joke. And I think Punk would do a lot of damage if he were to play against, the West Coast players. So I'm actually I want there to be some sort of exhibition between West Coast and East Coast, because loses, it's just gonna the hunger is gonna raise.
Dude, I think it's with the addition of Punk. I think it's it could be like a really good rivalry.
We got a real match. Yeah. I want to see that at Evo.
Can we just pay homage? Can we just pay homage to Punk for 1 second, please?
He was like average in Street Fighter 4 too, right? Like from what I heard.
Yeah, no, I heard it was alright at Street Fighter 4. I heard it was alright.
Street Fighter 4, he was like top ranked online.
Yeah,
he was,
I heard
he
it
was
was
good at
alright.
Street
It
Fighter
just
4.
never came out, right? Or was he not very good?
Punk was
Was he trash?
There we go, Chris. Back me up. That's right. That's right.
When I went to LA, when I was sitting with him, I was like, dude, what the hell happened to you? You were Argentine for it. And he was like, I wasn't that bad. I was good. I never went out to tournaments. But like, Punk's been the homie of mine since, forever now. So like, I'm glad to see him like tearing it up.
That's a pretty good Punk impression, man. Could you do a quote? Could you do a famous quote? Says you think I'm a one-hit wonder, but you just get smoked by my secondary. Go say that shit.
The secondary. No, I don't know. I just try to do like this sort of country act.
That kid's special.
Punk's a nice kid, man, and he's helped me out. I've been trying to talk to him more so I can prepare myself for ELeague, kind of get it like an insight on like how he's thinking about Street Fighter 5 because whatever he's doing it right, and I gotta take notes.
Speaking of secondaries, like he has a good, even though Nash is supposedly not good anymore. Yeah,
he's
using
doesn't
it.
really care about his secondaries though. Like I don't really see him go like, oh, that match is too difficult for me with carrying. I'll just pick another character to deal with it.
He literally just plays another character.
I'd love to see him fight the Birdie matchup because that's supposed to be a tricky one. I'd love to see him.
I don't know. I know, like he hates the game, but he enjoys it as well. That's what he said.
I'll tell you what, he's a very impressive individual in the game because his Nash wasn't even doing optimal stuff. You know what I mean? But he understands the game so well. Just like Justin Wong last year. Justin was like dropping max damage. He wasn't even going for max damage half the time with carrying, but he understood the game so well that he was still able to, just pull off victories quite comfortably all the time. That's impressive, man. I mean, he's on a certain level right now.
Yeah, he is. No, he's definitely at a certain level.
Well, maybe. You guys played in sets, but I want to see you guys play in tournaments. Like, what's the next tournament that you're going to?
Well, actually, he beat me at Red Bull Battlegrounds 3-0 when I played him in tournament. But then the next tournament that I'm going to is Final Round, which is this weekend. So I'm excited.
Start of the season. Everyone's hyped for that.
Let's go.
Start of the season, yes. Start of CPT. And right after that would be ELeague. So I have, like, obviously the main goal right now is ELeague. More than Final Round. I want to perform better. I want to win ELeague. I also want to win Final Round, but
no automatic spots, son.
No automatic spots.
Yeah.
Cash monies.
I mean, you guys were really good last season for hitting up most of the events. You guys,
dude, that's like I just wanted to travel the world. I want.
That was awesome, man. That was
even just the US events. Like you were at a good lot of them.
Yeah.
I know you went to Mexico, and of course you came to the UK. And traveled all over, but and you went to Japan as well, right? I think. Yeah. So, but yeah, you were good with your US attendance as well, which is what my point was. So, are we going to see you at as many US ranking events this year?
Yeah, for sure, and hopefully I will be at more world events as well. Like,
okay.
I just want to continue this journey of like making family everywhere that I go. We've
got Paris. We've got Paris.
Sure, mate, you gonna come down to Australia?
Was that like Russian?
Sorry, I don't know.
Let me try again. Sure, Mike. Give up, man.
I appreciate that.
Yeah, I'm definitely looking to go all around the U.S. as always. Hopefully more, world tournaments, meet new people, see new cultures. I'm all about it, man. This is like a dream of mine that Street Fighter has been able to, make true. So
do it now, man, before you get that 9 to 5. Get it in. Get that travel in, man. Enjoy it. Trust me.
Yeah. What the hell do you know about a 9 to 5?
Like 11 to 2 or something.
Yeah.
I'd never DJ for 3 hours. You mad?
No, on the other spectrum. I'm giving you props here.
We're counting the drive. We're counting the drive.
We're counting the drive.
Yeah.
The autographs that you need to sign, with all the females coming
up. Take the photos and that. Yeah, it's all good.
At EGX last year, Chris, this happened about 3 times. Probably people come, these proper chavs will come up. Excuse me, mate, are you LoganSama? Sorry,
black geezer, hold that for me. Take a photo. Yeah, cheers.
Get it straight. Yeah, get it right. All right, fucking have it. Go on, fucking have it, mate. Yeah. That was all over the place. Oh, gosh, brilliant.
Okay. Anyway, man, thanks very much for joining us, Chris. It's like the morning now, so you've got to get into your day. Sunday. What's happening? Anything happening this week? It's final round this weekend.
I need to be studying for. That's about it. That's the only thing happening.
Oh, that's why you're talking to us instead. I respect it. All right, man. Thanks very much for joining us. Where can people follow you if they want to?
Kim,
follow you.
Always a pleasure. Thank you guys, and have a great day.
All right.
Where can people find you, Chris? Where can they follow you?
Follow me on Twitter at Chris_Tatarian. That's the social media that I usually stay active on. I have an Instagram as well. If you want to see some photos, I guess, of my life, that's also the same thing. Chris_Tatarian. And yeah.
And what's your CFN so we can watch all your replays and download you for ELeague?
It's the same.
It's at LoganSama.
Yeah, don't watch that.
Yeah.
If you want to see how to confirm crack medium kicks, watch that.
It's just Chris Tatarian, one word, Chris Tatarian, my CFN.
No worries.
Sweet.
All right, man. Thank you very much. Cheers for joining us. And as I said, look out because we've got that concept series coming up. So that will be dropping on the channel as well. Subscribe, follow. If you're on iTunes and listening to us, then you can check us out on YouTube as well and watch it in video, Technicolor, Glorious, all that malarkey. And you can find us on SoundCloud as well if you just want to download the audio. So take care. Thanks very much for joining us. We'll be back real soon.